Oh, Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you? We've been having some technicals tonight, but we're hoping, inshallah ta'ala, to welcome Julien Drolon very shortly. He is a journalist and a filmmaker and a businessman and a convert to Islam. And it would be really great for him to join us. We'll be talking about freedom and fasting and his take on what freedom means to those of us who convert to Islam. So you're welcome to join us as ever. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. How are you doing? We've just entered 3 days of lockdown here in Turkey. I have to say, for a lockdown, it's quite mild here. There's been a few people out shopping today and the shops are kind of open. So I'm not sure what sort of the lockdown seems to be getting a little bit lazy or a little bit relaxed. Maybe we've nailed it here in Turkey, inshallah. Why don't you let me know how it's going where you are, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, and I can make some du'as for you and your family. We can share some stories about where you are in the world, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Malaysia, you're all nice to see you. Malaysians are always kind of the first on here. I wonder what time it is. It's about quite early, 10:30. You're in the middle of the night, Malaysia. Are you at Suhoor time? Subhanallah. So by the grace of Allah, we've made our first week and our first Jummah of this really special, really memorable Ramadan. Subhanallah. I guess if you've had a lot of Ramadans, they can meld into one if you're blessed enough to have a number of Ramadans with your family. But I think this one, we're all going to remember it as a place where we slowed down. In fact, proof of this is I called a social media sister to do some work for me today. And she said, I'm not taking any work on at the moment. I said, you're right. Work is not what it's about, subhanallah. So it's great to see you all here. Ramadan Mubarak. And yeah, as you know from this series, the reason that I'm doing this is because I love sharing positivity and great news stories about Muslims and Islam all year round. So we call this Ramadan Reset. But also because it's very important at this time of the year to give Allah a goodly loan. He doesn't need anything from us, but it's a return of the grace and favour that he's given us. So I'm working with Watan Charity UK for Syrian refugees, and we are going to be fundraising for food baskets for refugees, including those from Idlib, who, remember, the story hasn't gone away, it's still there, it's just we're all looking at our own issues right now. So you've got some time to ask me some nice questions and tell me where you are. So we've got Zainab. She says Edinburgh is very beautiful with cherry blossoms. Alhamdulillah, miss you. Zainab, maybe I met Zainab. Did we meet when I was in Edinburgh last summer? I was doing a one-woman play called Accidentally Muslim about my journey to Islam, and I had the honor of spending a whole month in Edinburgh, and it really is a glorious city, mashallah. Although it's got a bit of a murky past to do with the Masons and the Templars and things like that. So Edinburgh is a very interesting place. So Asha, she's back again. Nice to see you. Thanks for your question yesterday. I'm hoping for some more good ones today, inshallah. And she's also in Malaysia. Who else have we got? Aslam. Yeah, thanks for joining us again, Aslam. Also from Malaysia, and Mamoon from Bangladesh. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. If you look in the comments, brothers and sisters, we've got Haris Khan. He's posting about the charity. He's going to tell you how you can support the Syrian refugees tonight, inshallah. And here we have Julien Drolon. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now I can't hear you, Julien. I'm going to need a comment in the sidebar if anybody can hear Julien, because I can't hear you at the moment. Is your sound on? Oh, the technical joys of meetings on the internet. Not hearing you, Julien. Oh, it's a pity. I don't think we're going to be able to make it with him tonight. SubhanAllah. If you know anything about Julien Drolon, you should definitely know about the film Freedom, and it was released last year, and it features, I think, 45 Muslims from dozens of countries around the world, talking about what it means to be Muslim and their essence of freedom. So in the Western context, we tend to think that, or we're convinced, we're sort of brainwashed into thinking that there's one kind of freedom. And that freedom means an excess of choice. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't even like to choose too many mayonnaises. But if you're talking to me about an endless array of who you can be at any given point, an endless choice of what you can do on the most base and extreme scale of the rainbow, then you get into a really murky situation where people don't know what their ethics are and they don't know who they are anymore. And I think that's what we're seeing in the West, and that's what Julien's film Freedom is about. Julien, you might want to, I'm gonna take you out for a bit until you can sort out your transmission problems. Have a word with Hamza, inshallah ta'ala, okay? Thanks, Hamza. Yeah, no, nobody can hear Julien. So I'm going to be taking some questions this evening then on the meaning of coronavirus, what you're getting from it, and about this, what does freedom mean to you? We'll keep with Julien's theme, even though he's not here. I'm missing water tonight. What about you guys? Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So what no war could accomplish, it's amazing that a sub-microscopic infectious being has done. I'm somebody who takes planes all around the world, and for the last 20 years, I have been to 42 countries, a lot of them since coming to Islam just 10 years ago, subhanAllah. And I was doing so thoughtlessly, really. I knew that that there are emissions from planes that are doing damage to the planet, but I sort of pushed it to one side in my own selfish consciousness for wanting to be somewhere and wanting to go to these meetings. And at some point, it really does, it makes you, it plays into your vanity, I guess, subhanallah azim. And now we're all grounded. I mentioned the other night, do you feel a bit like Allah Ta'ala has just put the whole of humanity on the naughty step and said, you're all grounded and you're not having any friends around your house? Oh, no, no, no. Until you learn your lesson, you're going to stay home. Allahu Akbar. We've all been schooled, haven't we? So let's see what questions we've got today, inshallah. Who's there? We've got London is in the house, and we've got Cleon. Nice to see you guys. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on the coronavirus and how it slowed us down? What's it done to your life, to your living, to your sense of Ramadan this year, subhanallah? Are you missing the mosque? Allahu Akbar. We've got one right opposite, and it is sad not to see people running in. One of the things I've noticed is that people who aren't yet Muslim get really moved by the sight of people running to pray, even if it's not them. Allahu Akbar. I remember Kate Humble, she's a BBC presenter, and she was on the roof of a dwelling, I think it may have been in Yemen several years back, and the adhan went, and she was standing there with her guide, and she said, what are the people doing? They're all shutting things up and they're running, or they're going really fast, they were moving really quickly away from their places of work in one direction. And when she was told they're running to prayer, she listened again to the sound of the adhan and she started to cry. Allahu Akbar. She couldn't help it. She welled up, subhanallah, with this absolute natural intrinsic feeling of how beautiful that this call has made people run to prayer. Allahu Akbar. Here's a quiz question for you. Who knows where the word mosque in English comes from? Okay, who's going to Google this the fastest before I can give you the answer? Because it's masjid, right? So what's the word mosque? Well, yeah, the mosque actually came from British colonials, I believe, in India. And when they used to hear the sound, the buzzing sound, of the adhan, it's the reverberations of the vocal cords, and then the people coming They used to say they're like mosquitoes. Look at them swarming over there. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. So really in English, it's great to try not to use the word mosque. Let's try and just say, no, it's a masjid, and tell people where that unpleasant name comes from, subhanallah. So I'm here tonight on my own, actually, because Julien can't make it, unfortunately. We're having some issues in Turkey with our lockdown technology. Everybody's on at the same time, right? You've got, it's not just the kids now, it's the parents and the grandparents and everybody trying to keep in touch. Who are you missing? Who are you missing right now? Who would you like to be in touch with? Who would you like to be in your house right now? SubhanAllah, I tell you who I'd like to be with. Two people I'm missing. I'm missing my mum, and I am missing my daughter Alex. So salams to both of them. Have we got Julien perhaps without visuals? Salam alaikum, Julien. Okay, still trying to get on, inshallah. SubhanAllah. So Aslam, you say that Corona teaches us to be much closer to Allah. How does that work? How are we getting closer to Allah? What did we need to have taken away from us that we slowed down and stopped? For me, it was, I think, social media. Now, weird thing is, social media is still there, but does anybody else find it less interesting now you can be on it all the time? SubhanAllah, I don't want to be on social media all the time. I want real interactions. That's the lesson that people are having. You know, it's not, you can take your phone to bed at night, but a hug doesn't count from a phone. It's not the same as a friend holding your hand in your hours of crisis. SubhanAllah. So I wonder if, a bit like, so there used to be this saying in the UK that if you wanted someone to give something up, you'd give them too much of it. So if you wanted your kid to give up Coca-Cola, give them 4 cans in a row. Do not do this, by the way. Do not do this. But they may throw up and then not want it again. So it's aversion therapy. So I feel, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, that Allah ta'ala has given us aversion therapy with all of this technology, as useful as it is. So you keep sending me your ideas and thoughts now about what's changed for you this Ramadan, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. What is your reset that Allah has allowed during this time? Motoza Ali says, dua for COVID-19, Almighty Allah will be clearing this pandemic moment. Ameen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. You know, let there be no more deaths. Let us be free from this plague. And we have to be asking ourselves as well, what's going to go on afterwards? Because after a plague, do you know what follows a plague, brothers and sisters? What follows a plague? Famine. Right? You get a plague of locusts. They eat all the food, and what happens after that is everybody gets hungry. So we have to be making lots and lots of du'as right now for the world. Yes, we're all focused on where's our next job coming from? You know, you're probably worried about your rent. What about the kids' schooling? But the whole world is going through this together. It's a unifying moment. We have to be making du'as. Ya Allah, let there not be a famine. Let the food be coming forward. Let us work together. And those who have, give to have not, rather than hoarding. Subhanallah Adhim. Ambreen, salam alaikum. Says that a lot of people think that Muslims are no good and they insult us in the world by their words. We're peace-loving people, and there's a furious hatred for us. Yeah, I think we've all felt that at some point in the last several years, haven't we? Allahu Akbar. I've had my daughters called extremists when they went to the gym just for trying to be modest. Because there's this idea in modern gyms that you should be in the nude in front of each other, and covering up is really weird. And so they were just trying to be modest, and a woman came over and said, why bother being modest when you blow up buildings? They were 8 and 10 years old. Don't worry, I called the police. I'm not I believe in calling it out. So brothers and sisters, what is Allah Ta'ala telling you in your life by this lockdown, subhanAllah? What are you reading from this? What can we take away from this time? Because it will be over soon. And then the struggle will be, what are we going to do for money? How are we going to survive? Will our minds go straight back to dunya, beyond our needs? Or will we say, I can do this. I can get by with this amount. I don't need the excess. I won't take that extra work. I mean, yes, I realize that I'm talking from a Western context here, but we're all in the gig economy one way or another, right? There's no such thing as a job for life. Yeah, unless you own a bank, and it's interesting to see the banks have taken a cut in their interest, in their profits of 42%, 60%. Allahu Akbar. Ambreen, you're so motivating, Lauren. May Allah bless you. Thanks, Ambreen. Tell me where you are again. You feel pain seeing the hate. Don't feel pain. Subhanallah, there's always been a deliberate misunderstanding about what Islam is. And sometimes we like to turn it in on our Ummah all the time. We're not doing a good job. That's why people don't see it. But Allah Ta'ala says in the Holy Quran that, you know, there are sorts of people who, if angels came down carrying the message on their wings and gave it to the people, they'd still go, yeah, I feel I'm being tricked. I'm not going to go with this. I'll go with B. Whatever B is. If Islam is A, I'll go with whatever B is. So don't feel bad about that. Feel motivated to help people by our own behavior. Subhanallah. I was helped to Islam by the people that I met. Allahu Akbar. I saw nothing but goodness in Muslims. Nothing compared to the life that I was coming from. I had everything in dunya, farmhouse, 100 grand a year, beautiful children, all of those things in dunya, and I wasn't dissatisfied with that. But I did not know why I was alive, and I didn't know how to practice goodness. Isn't that strange? There's a whole ethos in the West of, if you let people do what they want, they will turn to goodness. Really? I'm not sure that that's what we're seeing. Subhanallah.
Yes, guys, we're on.
So we have Julien on. Salam alaikum,
Okay.
Julien. Hey, mashallah. Thank you so much for joining us. Everybody.
We made it.
Mashallah. I can only imagine. We've had a few nights this end as well with dashing around and getting things ready. Yeah. Julien, I've been talking about freedom and bigging up your film, which inshallah we'll come back to in a minute. But you're here to talk about freedom and fasting. First of all, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I'm Julien from France. I became Muslim in the Philippines 2012. I'm a film director, businessman, former singer-songwriter, and I live in Malaysia most of the time, but I like to travel. And I'm currently in Turkey, like Lauren. So yeah. And I'm also the director.
You came from the west. You came from the west to the east, and I came from the. No, I came from the west to the east. You came the reverse way. Turkey's a real hub at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah. A lot of converts are moving to Turkey, and I think it's one of the Muslim countries that can give an opportunity, you know, to express ourselves, our talents. That's why I decided to come back here and see how it goes, you know.
Inshallah. Tell us a little bit about your film and why you chose, as a convert to Islam, the rather tetchy subject of freedom, because I don't know about you, but I've been interviewed a lot by Western journalists who are like, why have you given up your freedom? And, you know, why would you subjugate yourself in this way?
Well, this project started in 2016, and it started also because there was a narrative in the West that Islam was against freedom. So we wanted to change that, especially with the wearing of hijab. But actually, there's a bigger picture that now people can witness. It's literally our freedom is being taken away. You know, so we thought that the only thing that people will have ultimately will be maybe the spiritual freedom, which means to choose to worship Allah. So we kind of made this film because we knew that there will come a time where our civil liberty and our freedom will be at stake. And I think this COVID-19 is kind of it's showing what we try to say in the film, you know. So that's why we made this film, and we just released it right before Ramadan.
And how many converts did you speak to for it? And what was the biggest finding for you, Julien, in making this film?
Well, we interviewed 50 converts from 25 countries, from the 6 continents in 2 years' time, and well, the biggest finding is probably that I mean, it's the true solution of all our problems. It's not a finding because I made that film with this is to show that the solution to all our problems is truly Islam. You have my Turkish producer. This is live. No, it's too much.
Okay, he's shining it into the camera. We need it the other way. Can you tell the gentleman it's the wrong way?
Right, okay. No, it's okay. We don't need the light. So yeah, there was not really a finding. I mean, we learned a lot from the converts who talked. We learned a lot, but we wanted the people to find Islam through this film, you know. And I think we achieved that goal. And we don't know where this film is going to take us, but so far I think it's been. We received amazing feedback from converts from all over the world, from non-Muslims. So, but I know already what is Islam, you know, so for me, it was not really a true finding in it. But I hope it will enlighten more people, you know.
Julien, obviously you come from France, and they have liberté, fraternité. As a French person, where do you think the French model has lost its way in terms of freedom, and what more does Islam offer in terms of freedom for a Frenchman?
Well, I mean, if you look at freedom, there are many aspects of freedom. You have economical freedom, social freedom, and I think France lost its way a long time ago. I mean, the French people are not sovereign anymore. They don't really make the decision, and we lost our. This is one topic we didn't discuss in the film, which is I think it's really truly missing is the riba system, because this is the true mechanism for enslavement of mankind, you know. So we have left that on the side because it was a really big pie in the topic of freedom. But I think like every country, French people are realizing that they are losing their freedom, and mainly because of this riba system that keep on enslaving mankind, you know. So I think France is it's not different from other country. But this liberty, equality, fraternity is, I don't really think we ever felt it. It's just a motto, it's a nice slogan, but it never really, I never felt that. That's why I left France when I was 18 years old. I was looking for those words. I was looking for freedom. I found it in Islam. I was looking for equality. I found it in Islam. I was looking for liberté, égalité, fraternity, brotherhood. I found it in Islam as well, you know. So the French motto is actually the definition of Islam somehow, you know, and that's what the French people need to figure it out. That's what there's no other escape than Islam if you want to be truly free, because you cannot be free if you worship something else than Allah. You will always be slaved to other men, plots, other men's things. So that's why this film is so important right now, because people need to realize that freedom is only in Islam. Everything else is man-made. Ultimately, it will lead to destruction and corruption, you know.
Do you ever go back to France, and how would they treat you? Obviously, you don't have symbolic showing of Islam, but I wonder how your family is with you now, and do they accept what you say about Islam and freedom? Do you have discussions with them?
They have not watched the film yet because it's not in French yet, but I just came back from France in February, actually, right before the lockdown, and now they're okay with me. I mean, as long as I don't talk too much about Islam, it's okay, but I haven't touched about the topic yet, but I think they are starting to realize more and more the situation, and of course, being France, we got one day attacked by an old man. He was throwing stone on our house, and he said, "We need to do something about you guys," in a small village where my mom lives. So we felt Islamophobia a little bit. But yeah, I mean, my family is very understanding, but we should not forget we had since Charlie Hebdo so many tragedies happening that it's like we had 10 small 9/11 over the past few years, you know. I remember when I discovered I was father for the first time. It was right before Charlie Hebdo. And when I announced my parents I was father for the first time, Charlie Hebdo already happened. And since then, France never became the same, you know. The Islamophobia grew like crazy. And now it's a bit down, I think, because of the corona, but I'm afraid for after, you know. Now, for once, we are not blamed for the corona, it's the Chinese people. But we don't know what's next, you know. When we hear people like Bill Gates saying the next attack, the next pandemic will be a bio attack from terrorists. So he's already.
You feel they're setting the stage for that. This is terrorizing, though. Many people feel, down and under attack. The suicide rate has shot up in the UK and in the USA. It's gone very high. That's really sad. People just seeing no point in living life. What's reset you? What is your reset? What is your learning that's come out of this period, Julien?
My learning is, Sister Lauren, is we truly need to come back to Allah. You know, like even converts like ourselves, we need to make tawbah, and we really need to learn with Allah better. The 90 names of Allah is a protector, Al-Wali. You know, is our protector. You know, so we have to invoke Him with His names, and I think it's just to show us how fragile is life, how fragile. Is everything, and ultimately we sometimes tend to rely on other people, on nations, on our work, but ultimately this corona reminded me that it's only through Allah that you can get out of anything. And so this is basically what I'm taking from is be a stronger worshiper. I mean, ultimately this is where the prophets are the people who have been the most touched and severely attacked in their life, and we are now under attack by this corona and everything that will happen after. So we really have to come back to Allah with a more serious way, including myself, not missing prayers. I mean, not missing sunnah prayers, praying tahajjud, reading more the Quran. Basically, we need to increase our iman. That's the key. Like we need to get out of this Ramadan with a huge iman. Then we can go through the ocean, and we feel Allah Subhanahu wa Taala will open the ocean for us if needed. You know.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful point, Brother Julien. Brothers and sisters, you know, we're seeing close downs here, but actually we should be reframing this as an opening, as a realization of what the world can be, of how we can be closer to Allah Ta'ala, of you know, a Sheikh said a couple of days ago, he's sure that in his area, are the birds singing that bit louder right now, just because there's less pollution? You know, it's that feeling of this is an opening because we value things more. We you know, when you have everything, you value nothing.
Yeah. No, it's funny you're talking about the birds because in my area there are rooster. You know, and rooster is a French animal, like a symbolic animal. And the rooster, cockroach, is right on the dots about every salah, even tahajjud. I mean, this is amazing. I mean, I've been living in farms, and now we are listening because we are more conscious about tahajjud and even breaking fast, and this animal by itself prove that Islam is the truth because it's on the dot with our prayer time, especially at night, morning. 2 a.m. is telling you it's Qiyam time. 2 a.m. is there doing and it is just right on the dot. It's more accurate than the masjid. It's more accurate than the masjid, and this is why, like, this crisis is a huge opportunity for Dawah, actually. As I said, when we launched Freedom 2 weeks ago, it is the biggest Dawah opportunity of this century because people are locked down. They have time to reflect on life and find God in those difficult moments. So for us Muslims, we need to increase our relationship with Allah. And for non-Muslim, it's a great opportunity to become Muslim because nothing else can save them out of this mess. I mean, if you lost your job during this crisis, but you became Muslim, you are the big winner. You know, I mean, but we as Muslims, we have a critical role to play, which is to take advantage of this to really spread the message of Islam as much as we can, because evil people will take advantage of this situation to do their evil deeds, and we can already feel what it's all about. But good people, Muslims, can take advantage of this also to further the mission of Islam, you know, and which is clearly to make everybody know that there's one God worthy to be worshipped, and the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is the last messenger. So if we can convey that message during this lockdown, then the Ummah is not the loser, you know. But we need to focus on that critically. So feeding people like you're trying to do right now through the organization and the Ramadan boost to give to charity. It's fantastic. This is for the body, but people need spiritual food as well. And the spiritual food they need is La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah. If they have this in their tongue, they will survive this crisis, you know. So we need to focus on both, because poverty can lead to kufr. That's why what you're doing is very, very important. We know Rasulullah told us poverty can lead to kufr. So if people are hungry, they cannot think, and therefore they will have a hard time to ponder on Allah and become Muslim. So what you're doing right now is very important with the Watan organization in UK. At the same time, we need to give spiritual food, because that's what will prevent people to commit suicide. Some people committed suicide, I assume it's not because they had no food in the fridge. Some of them is maybe because they lost $10 million, and for them it's the end of the world because they put their money on the stock exchange and now it's gone, right? So we need to also address those people, you know, and we need to use social media to convey the message, inshallah.
So let's give a reminder as we're having this spiritual food, brothers and sisters, that you get the chance to, we all get the chance to have great deeds right now, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Just £60 delivers a huge food basket to Syrian families of up to 6 people with rice, bulgur, wheat flour, pasta, chickpeas, lentils, all the things that they would have made at home when they had a home, subhanAllah, beans, green peas. And along with that £60 is a hygiene kit. And this always, as a woman and as a mother, really moves me, because I can't imagine, being somewhere and you don't have nappies for your child, or there may be elderly or disabled people and they need nappies. These kits come with hygiene kits, a razor. You know, you don't want to, just because you're in a desperate situation, we're still clean beings. We still want to please Allah. And one of the things in the kits that we're sending out, dear brothers and sisters, is simply soap. We're here all worried, madly washing our hands. Is this the right sanitizer? Is this the right one? Is this 80% alcohol? Has this got no alcohol in it? People are just worried about a bar of soap to wash their kids' feet, to stop them getting rotten, to stop the filth giving them warts, to make themselves feel just pure, to pray for a little bit. So subhanAllah, it's an honor and a privilege to bring you guys this show every night during Ramadan with Watan UK. And for Julien and all my guests are joining us to really encourage that and give you a chance to make a choice for the Syrian people, inshallah. What do you say, Julien?
No, for sure, it's critical to help our Syrian brothers and sisters. It's very difficult. I mean, in Turkey, we know the situation. There's, I think, around 4 million refugees. It's definitely something very noble, and I encourage every brother and sisters who can afford to to give for them. Turkey is doing a lot to support them as well for the past years, and it's a collective effort that everybody needs to be engaged with, and that's why I decided to come on the show. I'm sorry for coming late. We had some difficulties at the beginning, but I think we should not forget them, of course, and everybody should play his part as much as possible.
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. I think the important thing here is remembering that we're all one ummah. You know, sometimes we can feel a bit strange and be called the white Muslims. I mean, does that mean everybody else is a brown Muslim? When did skin color come into this, right? We stand before Allah Ta'ala only with our good deeds and with our taqwa and with a pure heart. It's the color of our hearts, really, that is the absolutely vital thing. And I pray to Allah Ta'ala that at the end of this month, you know, if you can imagine, everybody, all of you guys out there, and Julien as well, subhanAllah, imagine this. At the end of Ramadan, the entire Ummah should be sinless. Just think about that. At the end of the next 3 weeks, there shouldn't be a sin in the Ummah if we've done this right. Allah Akbar. This is the potential. In a time of plague and disaster, we could have 2 billion people on earth sin-free because we've given our charity, we've cleansed our wealth, we've fasted with our stomachs, we've pleased Allah. You know, we've spiritually cleansed ourselves by doing extra acts of ibadah, Allahu Akbar, and that's the cleansing that we need. May Allah Ta'ala give us that, bi'idhnillah Ta'ala.
Ameen.
Ameen, ameen. So, Brother Julien, a final thought before we let you go, inshallah, because I know the adhan is just going.
Adhan, yeah. It's time for us to break our fast.
I mean, it is. Maybe you can offer a dua for everybody, and for the Syrian people, especially, inshallah.
Okay. Subhanahu wa ta'ala, please forgive us for our sins, give us bounty during this time of tribulation, remove this disease, expose the truth to the people, bring us closer to the reality, help our brothers and sisters around the world in Yemen, Syria, Palestine, give ease in the heart of the mother so they can feed the son, the daughters, and bring back normality in our life, bring back freedom in our life, and prosperity for the Muslim Ummah and mankind in general. I mean.
Julien, just before you go, I want to remind everybody that Julien is now going to post on my Facebook page parts 1 and 2 of the film Freedom. It's absolutely free. Share it with all of your lists, please. Yes. Share it for the sake of dawah. Just quickly tell us how that's going to happen, inshallah.
Well, we hope that first I have to go to it, but we will share on Lauren's Facebook the 4 episodes of 25 minutes, so you can have access to it. It's also available on our platform, but have a look at Lauren's when it's up there in the couple of hours, or depending if I'm free to put it today. But check it out on Lauren's. Go regularly on her page, like her page, and then you will be able to see Freedom. It's a fantastic film. It's going to boost your iman. And this is inshallah, a great way to go through your Ramadan.
Barakallah feek. Go break your fast. Remember us in your dua. Salams to your wife and the children. And see you soon, inshallah. Ma salama. Barakallah feek. Julien Drolon, mashallah, tabarakallah. Now I'm going to go back to comments. Remember, if you haven't got £60, you can pay as little or as much as you like to my Just Giving page as well, that's posted here, and all the money is going to Watan, and all of that is going to Syrian refugees in hard conditions in different camps, and either in Idlib or coming from Idlib as they flee oppression. Subhanallah, oh Allah, heal our hearts first and heal the Ummah all together. Ameen, ameen, ya Rabbil Alameen. Greetings, Rashid Kuhun says, greetings from the Holy Land. Now, as you've said, the Holy Land, does that mean you're specifically in Jerusalem, or are you in the West Bank, or are you in Gaza? Let us know, because it's one of my happiest places to be. I'm going to take a couple of questions for the last few minutes. Why don't you put a thumbs up in the comments under this when you've made a donation, bi'idhnillah ta'ala, purely to encourage others to do that, because we know that Allah Ta'ala tells us to appreciate the deeds that are gone in secret, the good deeds, the good things that are not done for riyah, not done to show off to people. But you can do that and encourage other people. Yeah, maybe I'll do that as well. It's an easy thing to do, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Salam from Sri Lanka. Assalamu alaikum. This what are we calling it? Emission. I'm so hungry now. I'm going to break my fast. Bismillah. I've forgotten the word for what we're doing. Facebook Live. Bismillah. Alhamdulillah. Yes, so tomorrow we've got Sister Anisa on. Anisa is a health specialist. Last time she was on, subhanAllah, we travelled all the way around prophetic foods, and we're going to try and focus in on 1 or 2 points tomorrow. You can ask her about the best foods and to eat at Sahur and Iftar. We'll also be looking at what to replace meat with and how to eat in a way that is really beneficial for all of the cells of our body when we're going feast, fast, or, just from iftar to suhoor. So that's going to be tomorrow, inshallah ta'ala. And if you've got any questions, you are most welcome. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Please make sure to give as much of your wealth as you can. Allah ta'ala never decreases any of what we have. His rizq for us is not decreased by giving to others. So just give freely. Give as soon as your heart feels to give. Don't wait for the conscious mind to worry you with thoughts of tomorrow, because Allah Ta'ala provides. Remember, every child comes with their rizq. And hardships come with ease as well. So I ask Allah to make us the ease for the Syrian people as much as possible, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Ease for those in the refugee camps, ease for the mothers who are crying. Imagine just being the answer to somebody's du'as. And we know that when the sisters and brothers, they get their parcels and their food, first thing they do is they say, oh, Allah bless the one who gave this. Bless those people who cared for us in an hour of need. And as many who were previously wealthy now look to their financial losses and think, am I going to be using a food bank? Am I going to be homeless? SubhanAllah, many around the world whose experience that wasn't 6 months ago are now thinking, who will care for me? And we know, alhamdulillah, shukr Allah, that we have Allah watching over us, that He is closer than our jugular vein. I mean, what a blessing it is to be in this month. Allahu Akbar. And yes, please share your experiences with your non-Muslim friends. Let them know the beauty of Islam, but especially by our actions, bi'idhnillah ta'ala. Let this be a time of great generosity. Let's be generous with our time. Let's share with one another, inshallah ta'ala. And may you be blessed in breaking your fast today. This is a broadcast on behalf of Watan UK, and they work with Syrian refugees around the world. And at the moment we are special delivery of food for the whole month of Ramadan and beyond now. The things that you buy for now will take them beyond Ramadan, inshallah. And people will be able to cook, and they will also be able to clean themselves and look after their children. So I'm going to sign out for tonight. Over and out. Tomorrow is Anisa Kissoon. If you've got questions and about health, food, prophetic eating, same place, same time. May Allah Ta'ala bless you. All mistakes are my own, all praises for Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.